Hello and welcome to Politics Up on Vanguard Live. My name is Damola Ogunshaki. Joining me to discuss is an ex-presidential aspirant, Adamu Garba. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon for having me. Thank you for having me, Damilola.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. All right, let's move straight to what we're talking about now. I think I'll start with this one. People feel that the president's media aides are antagonistic in their dealings and responses to issues, and they don't take lightly to criticisms. What's your take on this?
Yes, I think to the best of my knowledge, depending on the persona and also the approach to the message of the critics. So if a critic is coming frontally on a very negative plane, sometimes you shut them down by coming that negative to them too. That's the only way you can neutralize them. But if the critic is interested in issues that have to do with the presentation of the presidential candidate, then most likely you see the approach will be softer with some verifiable fact about the position of the media aid. So to the best of my knowledge personally, the way I do my own things personally is if you criticize me very negatively, just sometimes I ignore. And if it is something that I must respond, then I will respond to you perhaps maybe in the equal measure of your attack upon my principle. But if eventually you are interested in issues, then we can discuss issues. We can discuss, and you will now see the reason why APC is the best party for you to continue to vote for.
Yeah, but there sometimes we feel these responses from the president's aides, like they feel their responses are superior, and we should just accept it from wherever it comes from.
This is wrong, if that is the case. But I think also because most of the people that are outside that cycle used to see it from the other side, they usually assume that they present themselves as superiors, but they don't. Sometimes when you pay attention critically to how they respond to things, you will see that they are responding with facts. But eventually, the media interviewer or the people that the audience will not be condemning every single fact that is presented to you. A situation whereby you are shown that this particular item is white and you insist that it must be black. And the argument continues to ensure that whatever it is you say must be black. Meanwhile, it is actually white and is presented to you plainly. Everybody can see it is white, but some people want to believe it has to be black. Perhaps maybe that's why the frustration comes, and that is why sometimes you see very intense response from the media aides. But to some degree, I think if the audience can engage the presidential aides on issues that have to do with the performance of their principal, I think it will be more easier and the responses will have been more diplomatic.
Earlier, you talked about your party APC. So, what informed your decision to join the APC again?
Yes, the thing is that, I was frustrated initially with the party. And if you track the history of APC, in fact, from the convention upward, you will see that I am not the only one that is frustrated. Even the major founders, supporters, and as like the main backbones of the APC were all frustrated, including our current presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it was very, very annoying the way the party then was trying to organize its own arrangement. That is why, if you notice on my resignation from the party then, I said that the party has lost its soul. Simply because the original progressivism that drives the formation of the APC, that entices people like us to join, is seeming to be going away in favor of something that is completely anti-progressivism. But fortunately for us, we have a fighter, a never-give-up person, a political general, a strategist, a very determined personality, strong soul, who decided to say, I must not give up on the house I have built. I must stay and fight and restore that soul. People like you, Adamu Garba, and so many of you that are angry and some that have left, I will recover that soul for you to come back so that we can continue our journey. And thereby, we have an outcome. And that outcome produces Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is to drive the future for us. And we are very confident that the party has now restored its own dignity, it has restored its own capacity, it has recovered its own soul, and it is now on the path to which we believe it is the best for this country, and that is why we are all back into the APC.
All right, still talking about PDP. In a series of tweets, you accused their party of, creating Boko Haram, and you also claimed the APC has defeated them. Can you tell us more about this, about the defeat and the accusation?
Yeah, it's clear. You see, before we came into power in 2015, Boko Haram was the biggest topic in Nigeria. Even globally, on the global media, when you talk about Nigeria, is Boko Haram. Boko Haram is the biggest business of the day. Boko Haram was the same campaign that PDP used to come back to power in 2011. Boko Haram was the creation of the PDP. Without PDP, there can never be Boko Haram. It is the negligence, the unseriousness, the ineptitude, the lack of action of PDP government that eventually culminated into having this terror group called Boko Haram that wreak havoc in Nigeria, consume more than 35,000 lives, and cause a lot of destruction and bad image for the country. Nigerians, and they said, we are throwing you away. We are bringing in a new system under a military general who understood the value of people and the value of national security to come and head our country and liberate us from Boko Haram. APC came to power in 2015. By 2016, Boko Haram, at the time we came into power, they were controlling 14 local government in Borno State. Like, you can't go, most of those local government, they hosted their flags, they sing their national anthem, they advocate the law, they are the judiciary, they are the legislation, and they are the executive arm of government, causing a lot of brutality, killing, destruction, and maiming and raping of our women, destroying our children. That's what they have been doing. And immediately on swearing in of the APC government, Boko Haram no longer control anything. In fact, Boko Haram are so destroyed, rooted out of APC to the point, out of Borno State, to the point whereby now they have to find a way to disappear. If you go to the northeast, I came from the northeast. We don't talk about Boko Haram anymore. In fact, just a few days ago, I received the leader of the civilian JTF of Adamu State. I asked him, what about those boys that are disturbing us? Do we have their traces again? You now look at me in the eye and say, so your party have succeeded in destroying these people completely. Now we can sleep with our eyes closed. We no longer have to worry about Boko Haram in our region. Yes, we may have some issues, especially within the northwest, where we have some remnants of bandits and criminals kidnapping and doing some other activities that are unwarranted. But all those things, they still are unable to hold a single word in Nigeria. They were just coming to do hit and run. That's what they do. And again, our government succeeded in making sure that they don't control anything. And we are still doing everything possible to take them out. So to the best of my knowledge, PDP nurtured and built Boko Haram. APC decided to come and use its own massive broom to clean Nigeria of PDP evil and restore what is called Nigerian sovereignty, Nigerian dignity, and now we have we're on the time when we need to consolidate these successes into proper Nigerian shares prosperity and growth with a sure development.
Do you have proofs to back your claims that PDP built and nurtured Boko Haram?
Yes, it is clear. If you study a lot of documentation that has been published online, which is all publicly available, you will see the records that has been published by the United States Development Agencies, by the United Nations institutions, and by all internationally accredited research institutions in the world. What they claim, what they mention as the main root cause of the source of Boko Haram was the poverty, unemployment, lack of basic amenities, lack of education of those areas. That was what led to the formation of Boko Haram. So PDP government were elected to ensure that these basic four components are provided by the people of all over the country. But unfortunately, this group of people, the PDP government did not provide adequate education. They don't provide any employment. Poverty rate was very high in that area. The basic amenities were missing, and these people felt like they are not part of the country called Nigeria. The best solution is for them to define a new path, that the government of Nigeria is evil because the leaders in Nigeria at then, that is the PDP government, did not care about them. So the best solution is to create an alternative system The Boko Haram thing they mentioned means that the system that we operate based on the Western system is evil. So the best solution is for them to create another way that is terroristic, that is evil, that is more destructive. That's what they did. Why? Because PDP didn't mainstream them. PDP didn't give them sense of belonging. PDP didn't enhance their infrastructure. PDP did not provide basic amenities. It doesn't give them job opportunities, no means of livelihood. They were completely neglected. How do we solve the crisis? We solve the crisis with our civilian, general. I call him the general in Babariga, Senator Kashim Shetima, who was in the opposition. He has always been in the opposition, the current APC vice presidential candidate. He used empathy, human-to-human touch, interactivity, discussions, dialogue, conversation, sincere relationship building with this group of people in Borno so that they can come to his side and show Boko Haram a red card. Even with his efforts, the government of PDP kept frustrating it. The government of PDP wanted them to cash out on those inefficiencies so that they can install a PDP government and destroy the people of Borno. But he resisted them until APC came to power. So when you look at the metrics, when you look at all the available information that showed what caused Boko Haram, you will see that it is the negligence, the ineptitude, and the lack of competency and the sheer wickedness of the PDP regime from 1999 to 2015 that actually nurtured, built, and unleashed Boko Haram to Nigerians. But when APC came with prosperity, with dialogue, with openness, with might, with attack on anything that is evil, with constructing and building everything that is good. Go to Borno State and see the rapid development that has been recorded under APC government from 2015 till now. That is why Borno State is no longer a place where people are afraid of again. Everything has been restored back. Why? Because PDP created Boko Haram, APC came and cleaned Boko Haram, and now we have a very stable government in Borno State. In fact, Borno State is even giving us its own son to come and aspire for the vice presidential ticket of our party. This is a great rise. When the country is going down to grass, it has rose to the point where by now it is blessing us with a grace. And that grace is this Senator Kashim Shetima that is deputizing for our presidential aspirant candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is, I think, one of the greatest successes that we have recorded as a defeat of Boko Haram. So electing Senator Kashim Shetima, electing Bola Ahmed Tinubu as our president and the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to me, is another big blow to PDP and the defeat of their machine called Boko Haram.
All right, let's still talking about 2023 election. I would like to ask you this. Why would an aspirant want to miss the opportunity of selling himself as better off than his other opponents through a discussion, with other aspirants?
You see, Damilola, this is election, and election is about the people. And people, it's only people that somebody who is a leader who understand how to fish these people. It's a kind of a fishing that you can actually have the people on your side. It's about priority. At the point when you need to reach out to people, to discuss with them, to understand their sincere demands, and to see how you can address them. Some people are just looking for clicks and likes and retweets on the media. It doesn't make sense. I am not thinking that Ashwaju is willingly not trying to go to the debates. No, that's not the case. The case is that his priorities and the priorities of the APC at this point is to see that we continue to carry the people along as we move into the campaign of 2023 election. As we move towards the election, we want to carry people along. The same time that they are doing this debate in a Rise TV program, that same moment we have a celebration of one of our Nigerian statesmen, gathering of so many Nigerian people celebrating 80th birthday. Our candidate was there. The following day, the candidate was in Niger State to try to discuss with the agro-business personnel and see how we can be able to mainstream the agri policies of the manifesto of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the agro guys so that they can be mainstream into what is happening. This is what should be happening. If you truly care for the people, if you truly care to want to win the election, if your aim is not just popularization or propagandization or to run a populist sentiment or to just smear or do some image mongering, you need to go and meet the people. You need to bring the people on board. That's what Ashwaju is doing.
But don't you think this debate is also a way to meet the people?
It's not about debate is altogether a very good thing, but it's not the right time. Wait, we have up to February 28 to do this election. Why can't you do the debate in February? Why are you trying to carry a debate in November? When we are yet to even bring all people on board. It's obvious that some people are just doing showmanship by trying to aspire for the office of the president. People like Peter Obi, it's all about showmanship, and people like Adamu Garba is just a normal CV, an opposition candidate, a perpetual opposition candidate. People like Senator Rabiu Musa Konkoso, it's all about this showmanship thing. So it's all political showmanship. If you truly care for the people, go and meet the people, talk to them, bring them on board. That's what APC is doing. This is not the right time for us to be standing to win people. Let us meet people. We don't want to meet them behind the screen. We want to meet them one-on-one at this very moment. By February, towards the election time, you can organize your debate. By then we have moved around the country, organized all the people together, and they have now understood what was our mission, what was our message, what is it that we are trying to deliver to them. Once they give us their vote and trust, then we can come back and discuss with the media again to fine-tune and polish those things that we have conversed. But now is not the right time. People are just so much at rush. But the showmanship guys will always want to take advantage for a show. And that's what happened. That's why you saw that debate was one of the most disorganized, confused, multi-pack kind of arrangement that eventually.
All right, you want APC not to underrate the Labour Party and its supporters ahead of the 2023, elections, and of course that's in reaction to the Lesotho party's win. That's the new party's win. So recently, you also claimed that a majority of Nigerians have rejected Peter Obi ahead of the 2023 general elections. Now, looking at the statement, are you not contradicting yourself?
I'm not actually. What I said on we should not underrate APC is the case of a kind of when you look at the election period is like a war but without bloodshed. So in military parlance, when you are trying to go to war, you have to scale up so mightily that even if you have 100 people to defeat, sometimes you can take 10,000 forces to make sure that they are completely not just defeated but decimated. So that is why I am saying that we should not underrate any candidate, including Peter Obi. To me, Peter Obi is a strategic threat. It's not an electoral threat to us. He cannot have electoral value compared to what we have in APC, but it's a strategic threat. Strategic threat with the fact that he has fanatic followers. They may end up creating problem after the election. The loss to them is very obvious. They are losing the election. But what will be the reaction after they lost? So we have to treat it as a strategic threat. We have to find a way to see how we can neutralize their fire that they are burning without any reason. So that's why I say we should not underrate them. We should also frontally confront them and try to dilute whatever anger that Peter Obi spread, the virus of anger that Peter Obi spread in their minds. We have to dilute it with message of positivity, message of hope, message of progressivism, and message of development that we are bringing. So with this, we will neutralize that strategic threat that they are trying to bring to us. So that's exactly what I said. But the issue of him winning, Peter Obi is not going to win. But the issue of this anger that is coming on board is capable of creating instability after the election. But how do we contain this? We confront it now. We neutralize it now. So that's actually why I said we should not underrate Peter Obi at all.
Why are you so sure Peter Obi will not win the election?
Just empirical formula. Look at the empirical formulas. Just look at the total number of voters. Just take the 93 million or now 100 million users that INEC have registered. Less than 93 million based on what is published. And look at the voters and look at the general acceptability. Peter Obi is a media presidential aspirant, I have aspired for this office, and I know what media can do. I know how sometimes on the media you will just be seeing that you are just winning, and at the end of the day, when you go to the to the battlefield, you discover that you are just still in euphoria. So it's a fallacy that Peter Obi is going to win the election. It's a complete fallacy. This is the man that cannot even comfortably go to Anambra and stage a rally today. That's where he has the largest progress. Ashua Jobola Ahmed Tinubu have the entire Southwest, including the PDP Southwest behind him. This is the way you can test the popularity of a candidate. Can Atiku Abubakar go to Northeast and stage a rally that is going to frighten the whole of the country? Even in my state, Adamu State, I came from the same state with Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar cannot monster the mass population that Ashua Jobola Ahmed Tinubu is going to monster in Adamu State. This is showing credibility. People have gone beyond jokes and fallacies and euphoria. People want practicalities. And this candidate of ours, Ashua Jobola Ahmed Tinubu, is somebody that have track record of performance, track record of delivery, and track record of giving results wherever he stepped in. So how do we expect us? How do you expect Nigerians with their own sense in this 21st century, understanding what is in for them when there is good in the country and what they stand to lose when they elected a bad leader? How do you expect them to see Ashua and see all these candidates and try to compare them? So by all empirical evidence, Peter Obi cannot do anything. He's just a media euphoria. Most of his supporters, in fact, if you look at the support base, I'm a tech person. I do some deep diving into the net, especially even within the dark net. You see that most of the traffic is coming from abroad. Some group of guys in Australia, in Canada, instead of America, are the ones that are doing all those propaganda. Some of them will assume so many identities. You see one guy with about 100 different identities. Sometimes he will name his name Shehu or Musa. Meanwhile, his real name is Chika. And then he will now come and be doing some publication as if his acceptability from the north. Something that doesn't exist. Similarly, you have somebody putting name Damilola. Meanwhile, he is not a real Damilola. So that's what they do. A lot of identity impersonations, confusion just to propagandize. You can't win election with propaganda. You win election at the polling unit. We have 176,846 polling units in this country. How can they go there? How do they even establish a party that have no structure of anything at all, other than Peter Obi? Even his spokesperson is not known except Peter Obi. His digital campaign is jumping behind Peter Obi. The entire structure is Peter Obi. How do we match all these things together and then see a win for sort kind of? Nigeria is not a shop. There will be no shopkeeper that will hold Nigeria. Nigeria is a state, and we need a statecraft economist and a statecraft thinker that should come and reshape this country and put it on the path to the success and prosperity that we're aiming in this 21st century.
How do you think the social media will affect the 2023 election?
Yes, social media will help in shaping the narrative. It will help in shaping the narrative because we have about, let's say, 63 million people on social media in Nigeria. So it's a significant number, But let me tell you the truth. I am a very strong social media activist. I have been participating there. People hardly believe what they see on social media. They just use it to digest what they actually believe. If I get information on social media, the first thing I do is to internalize it, pair it, process it, and then come back with a decision. That's usually what happens. So if you don't have facts, you don't have figures, you don't have values that can be able to back up whatever it is you are saying on social media. No, people will just listen to you, they will tweet, they will like, they will even comment to support you. But when they internalize it, they know that it's rubbish. They know that you are just joking. So even on social media, if you are not backed by fact, by figures, by something that is valuable, that is resourceful to the ordinary audience, they will support you. They will indicate that they are together with you. They will like you. They will vote in your favor just to satisfy curiosity. But it's not actually what is going to drive them into action. What is driving them into action is usually what they are afraid of, what they can gain. Those are the only two things that drive people to action. The last is the curious part of them, which is what they will do to click, retweet, comment, but that does not necessarily mean that they don't know what they are doing. So social media will shape a narrative provided you have fact to back up your narrative. But provided you are propagandizing, they will like you, they will hail you, but at the end of the election, they will go and do the right thing. So that's exactly what I think what the social media is going to be by this coming 2020 election.
All right, what's your general assessment of Buhari and APC government?
I think, to be sincere, there are issues, but APC have succeeded far beyond expectation when you pair everything compared to what PDP has given us in the last 16 years of their administration. Today, you cannot point to one single standing monument that is a PDP legacy in Nigeria of 16 years of their democracy. But in APC today, we have so many things to point as to the successes of Buhari administration. In fact, even the Boko Haram, as you asked question earlier, we have 75 million members of Boko Haram that have actively surrendered to Nigerian sovereignty. It is there. In fact, out of them, 7,000 of these are active Boko Haram members that are fighters that decided to submit their weapons back to Nigerian government. Again, if you go back to the area of infrastructure, rail, air, and road infrastructure, what we have built in 7.5 years is much more than what PDP has done in the past 16 years. When you go back to amenities, when you go back to every single thing that you can compare in terms of administration, in terms of good governance, in terms of stamping corruption, in terms of building the economy, in terms of giving security to Nigerians, you cannot compare us with PDP. PDP did was ceding our sovereignty. APC recovered our sovereignty in terms of security. In terms of economy, PDP has sunk Nigeria to the abyss of debt and so many confusion. When they see the debt profile of Nigeria is rising, it is not a bad deal. I can only loan you money when I trust you, when I know that you can pay, when I know that you have capacity, you have ability, you have the resources to pay me back, when I know that you have set up the policies, the structures, the framework in your governance system that will definitely pay me back my money. That's the only way I can loan you money. The kind of money that we collected, from from the donor agencies shows clearly, from the loaning agencies shows clearly that we are credible, that we can be able to pay back our lands, our government. Unlike the PDP government that have nothing to show, that cannot be able to do anything. So in the area of corruption too, we have stamped corruption. In fact, this is the government that elected as Accountant General. It's all Accountant General of the Federation. Imagine if this is PDP. They would kill it. In fact, the reporter that tried to discover this thing, or any person that tried to report this thing, may not go back home alive. But APC decided to say, take him and put him in jail. This is our government. So this is actually, we can compare APC and PDP.
All right, what's going to be unique in the 2023 election?
What is going to be unique is the fact that Nigeria has entered a transition phase. A transition phase with a leader that is actually going to bridge this gap of that transition. If you notice the global system currently, we have a lot of turbulence, Russian-Ukrainian crisis, unipolar and the multipolar world, a lot of this kind of confusions. But then we have a presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his manifesto, capturing these things properly while aligning with our realities as we transit from the old system of the world to the new system of the world, which is the new world order that is clearly emerging. Even with our budget in the 2020 Renewed Hope Manifesto of 2023, you see clearly that the budget is de-dollarized for the first time since 1960. We always paid our budget against the foreign currency based on the export of raw materials that we do, most notably crude oil. But this time around, I just said, no, we are going to de-dollarize the budget. We want to perfect the Naira. We want Naira to be a super currency. We want Naira to be more trustworthy. We want to inject Naira into the economy. Wherever dollar is coming into our economy, it has to go directly channeled into an investment that dollar is required, like in the area of infrastructure, in the area of industrialization, but in the area of enabling the economy, growing the economy, building housing policy, stabilizing, our system, creating job opportunities, expanding agriculture, we will need Naira. In fact, he went to the point whereby at the center of Nigeria, where you have massive deposit of clay, he said that our plates and our cups that we used to eat in our houses are going to be made out of Nigerian clay. This is how micro it captures every possibility of this transition. So I see Nigeria transiting with a strategic thinker and a strategic doer. I see Nigeria to emerge as the global power of Africa under the leadership of this great man who has done everything possible to organize himself for this very moment. Ashwaju to me is a force of nature. There is nothing that can stop his coming. He has God behind him. He has the entire Nigerian behind him. He passed through all the pain points, all the obstacles of impossibilities, and convert them to possibilities. And he came up with a program that each and every Nigerian, especially young population like us, we will benefit immensely as this transition takes place. Because at this stage, if we don't have the right leadership that navigated us, the right pilot or the right diver, that navigated us through this turbulent world system, I'm telling you, we are heading in for a crash and will continue to be enslaved again as we had been. But now, with Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and with his promise of delivery in his manifesto, I am telling you that anybody that is not voting for APC in the coming 2023 election, he has committed a political crime against Nigeria.
All right, quickly, lastly, let me ask you about this one. Tell us about Crowwe app. What happened to it?
Yeah, Crowwe is there. In fact, when eventually we had this massive attack, as the founders in technology, we are trained to believe that when you bring in a product and there is massive criticism, it means there is acceptability and there is need for you to refine it. So what we did was, because of my personality and associativity with politics, I decided to wait for this political moment to go offline, because I've already resigned actually on the board of Crowwe. I allow it to be running on its own. But I told the team that let us wait, let this political season pass over, then we can bring it back into the stores. But as I'm telling you, Crowwe is, in fact, it has been perfected. Crowwe is going to be one of the best social media application that will be coming from Africa. Why? Because I'm telling you, we're going to compete favorably with TikTok. In fact, you need to see the new design. You need to see the new architecture. You need to see the interest graph design that has been injected into it. You need to see how these our young people are thinking and creating something that they believe it is their own, that they believe is going to benefit the country, that they believe is going to position Nigeria on the map of global technology advancement. That is what is happening. So I am no longer a kind of a CEO of Crowwe. There is a CEO that's running the company, but I seek their indulgence that we should allow this political season to pass over. When we swear in our new government and we have a new standard, then we can now be able to come back and put Crowwe online again. But Crowwe is there. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much for joining me today. And that's all we have for you today on Politics Up. My name is Damlola Okunshaki. Do well to like and follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Our WhatsApp number is also displayed on your screen.